What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Philly to Detroit Boxing. We got a very special guest on with us today, man. We got Joseph Brown, 16-year-old phenom, champion at about every combat sport you can name, man. Kickboxing, taekwondo, boxing, Muay Thai, man. You do it all, man. What's going on, Joseph? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you for coming on again. Like we said, me and you and your pops had our own interview back in the day, so we've
Yep,
been locked in ever since. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I definitely rock with y'all too,
of course.
for sure. So yeah, man, just tell us a little bit about what's going on right now, man. Ever since our last talk, what's the plans for you right now? Do you got any plans of fighting in any tournaments? And I know you said you're possibly going pro within the next year, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm done competing in like anything amateur. I'm probably gonna have my pro debut in October.
Oh hell yeah, dope, dope. And then, do you know what weight you want to fight at in pro? What you want to debut at?
I think I'm gonna debut at 154.
54.
Yeah,
Okay, dope. How tall are you right now?
I'm like 6'1" and a half, 6'2".
Oh yeah, you a big boy. Yeah, okay. You big. I thought you.
Yeah,
I didn't think you was that big. I'm like, okay. No, that makes sense. No, hell yeah. But how training been, man? Obviously, like we kind of just spoke about before we start recording, you've been, getting some work in at the Floyd's gym, the Money Team gym, with some of the top amateurs in the world, some of the top pros around. How's training just been, just in general, getting in with the best?
training has been amazing this time around. It's been real good. I've had Floyd come into the gym a few times. He cornered me while I was sparring a few days ago. So yeah, this training has been super good. I got to work with a lot of great people.
Hell yeah. Then what's it like having Floyd like in your corner giving you instructions? Obviously, we think of him as the greatest ever. You know what I mean? So what is that like? What is that experience like? Just having him getting that guidance from him first of all, and then have him actually in your corner while you getting some work in.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think of him as like one of the greatest ever too. So I'm just like starstruck that he's even like in the gym while I'm in the gym. So for him to actually like then actually come over and like start cornering me and like give me water and stuff and give me like a whole bunch of advice. I mean, it's a blessing. It's amazing.
Man.
No, word. Might say, and tell us a little bit about your team that gets you ready for these tournaments and things like that.
Well, I live in Toronto, so I come back and forth to Vegas to train. But in Toronto, I got a gym called King of the Ring that I go to. They've been helping me a lot there. And then one of my main sparring partners in Toronto, Chan Thompson. I think it's like he might be like I think he's ranked number 5 in the WBA
Mm-hmm.
right now at lightweight. So yeah, me and him spar all the time, and he's helped me a lot. And then while I'm in Vegas, I'm usually training at Floyd's gym. So Jeff Mayweather, that's my coach, and Dewey Cooper is my MMA coach on the kickboxing side down here. And then in Toronto, I train with a Bazooka Joe down there. So yeah, I have a great team that's surrounding me, and they've all helped me a lot.
No,
No,
definitely, man.
And my dad, of course, my dad, yeah,
Definitely.
my dad, yeah, he's the one that started me out in all of this, and he's the one that got me to where I am today.
Right. And I was gonna ask you about that. Pops was on with us last time. Shout out to Pops. Me and him chop it up. Basically all the time now. Me and him always interacting now. So definitely shout out to Martin Brown. And
Yep.
I was gonna ask you as well. Like since the last time we spoke, my audience has grown a lot more. Since the last time we spoke. Could you tell us a little bit more, just about your background and how you got started in fighting for the
Yeah,
people who haven't heard it?
I think I started like some type of karate when I was like 3. It's when I first started like my first martial art, and then I started boxing around 6 or 7, and then shortly after that, I went into taekwondo and then kickboxing, and then the grappling and everything. So that's when I really started, and I think at 8 years old is when I had my first competition, and then I've been
mm-hmm.
competing.
Yeah,
No, definitely.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you, is your team kind of taking that Devin Haney approach where when Devin Haney first turned pro, his dad kind of let him go to this coach and that coach and kind of spend time for like a month or 2 months with each great coach to kind of pick up knowledge. Because I kind of seen you like around a lot of coaches. remember seeing you coming down to Philly. You was with the Mad Scientist. That's one of my
Yeah,
OGs.
yeah.
How was that experience like? I remember he hooked up that Boots and you sparring. How was that experience like getting in there with Boots?
Getting in there with Boots was it was amazing. I didn't actually expect to be sparring him at all, but to be actually be in the ring with him was it was amazing, and I learned a lot from that.
Is he as sharp as we think he is, man? Is it you
Like
know what I mean?
he's even sharper than you think, the way you can imagine. He's super
I'm
sharp.
from Philly, so I already know.
Yeah, he's really like he's real sharp.
Yeah. And like, do you? Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I was just going back to that question. Is your team taking that route with letting you go to each like a couple coaches for like a certain amount of time to kind of pick up knowledge from each coach, or it just happened to turn out that
Yeah,
way?
I mean, it kind of like happened to turn out that way, but like I'm the type of person that's gonna listen to everybody. I always have open ears to what everybody has to say because I feel like there's always something that I can learn from anybody, even if they're not good, even if they're not maybe not even a boxing coach. They might have some advice that's gonna help me. So I always have open ears and I'm willing to listen to what anyone has to tell me.
Definitely.
No, definitely. And what made you pick boxing as your main sport and also the one you want to go pro in? Because, like we said, you obviously are a champion and undefeated at multiple combat sports. You know what I mean? So, what made you pick boxing as the main one?
Well, first of all, there's more money in boxing, obviously. So that would probably be the better route to go. And then as I got older, I kind of just I just chose boxing. I kind of singled out on that, and this is what I fell in love with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I do see you occasionally still training in like MMA or getting some kick work in or whatnot. And I remember our last conversation. You and your pops were like, man, we might try to do a MMA champion and a boxing champion, pro boxing champion. So is that still like a goal for y'all?
If the money's right, it's gonna happen for sure. Because I'd be the first male to go from like winning boxing world titles and then cross over to MMA and then win a world title as an MMA fighter.
Yeah, only person who did that was Holly Holm.
Exactly. As a female, and no male has done it yet, so I'd be the first one.
Right.
Cool.
Now I remember we was chopping it up about that. I'm like, man, I think you could do it from like the track record you got, obviously, and then what I've seen you do, in the ring, you know what I mean, from whatnot. But I know you got some big, some big things in work in the work. And I was also
Yeah.
gonna ask, man, obviously, we spoke a little bit about Kermel. He's obviously one of the top amateurs in the world right now. How's your relationship and what's it like getting work in with him?
Oh yeah, me and Carmelo are great friends. We're pretty close, and the work with him is great. Carmelo's gonna be a world champion one day. I seen him like mess up everybody in the gym. Almost everybody he steps in the ring with, he ends up stopping them. So yeah, me and him got some real good work. We sparred a couple times now, so yeah.
I was going. Was you there for that infamous sparring he had when he beat up the bull all crazy? That said, went to the gym and called him out, or no?
Oh, you know what? I came in the gym right after the sparring was done.
Yeah, because I actually want. I was trying to hear how that story even, how that even cut, like how you even walk in the gym, then be like, yeah, give me Carmel. Like, I wanted to know how that even how did that even occur?
Yeah, people be doing that all the time. They walk in the gym and they don't really think that you're as good as you actually are, so they just want to go and like test you out. But he let them know that day for sure.
No, definitely. I might say, and what's it like for Jeff Mayweather to be your head trainer? Because he learned from a lot of people, like his brother, Roger Mayweather. So what's that's like getting that game from him?
It's amazing. Jeff has a lot of knowledge, not only from being a coach and coaching a lot of world class people, and growing up with his brothers and his nephew, but also from fighting himself. Because a lot of people forget or don't realize that he became a world champion. So yeah, he has a lot of knowledge, and I'm been learning a lot from him.
No,
No, that's
definitely.
dope as hell. Just to have that camp, you know what I mean? Just to have that team around you and that supports you, man, that just gotta feel good, you know what I mean? They arguably got the best team ever assembled in boxing, you could
Yeah,
argue, you know what I mean? So I know that gotta be a great feeling for sure.
yeah, it feels amazing.
I said you said you turned pro in October, right?
Yeah.
And what decided you to turn pro so young? Because you're only 16. Usually, most people kind of want to go to the Olympics and stuff like that. What made you make that decision that you didn't want to wait for the Olympics? You ready to go right now?
Well, I have a more of a professional style anyways. So I've always had a professional style since I started boxing. That's how my dad taught me how to fight because at the end of the day, that's what's going to count in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Amateur is only for a short amount of time, but professional is your whole career. That's what you're going to be making money off of. So that's how I grew up fighting, and that's what I'm ready for now.
No, dope.
And no, I was gonna say, what kind of got you started into the MMA part? Cause that's a crazy sport. They allowed to elbow you and kick you. Like what? Why
Well,
you ain't just want to stick with the hands, man? Just stick with the hands and keep it simple. What made you
well,
want to defend people trying to kick your head and elbow you and all that?
it's actually it's very fun. I started all of them at a young age. So like growing up doing all of them, that's just how I started to like it. So it's very fun. I love the jujitsu and like the kicking part. Like I love all of it.
Right.
No.
And then, like you said, you got started at fighting at a very young age. You know what I mean? You said 7 or 8. So you've been doing it for about 10 years now. Do you feel like, we kind of spoke about this our first interview too. Like, do you feel like your pops kind of forced you into it, or do you feel like you kind of had to, you wanted to do it, or did you feel like you had to kind of grow into it a little bit?
I think I probably had to like grow into it a little bit, but it wasn't too much long after I started to when I figured out like okay, yeah, I'm good at this. This is what I want to do.
Hmm. And could you tell us a little bit about? I know we spoke our last time too about your training schedule, man. You got a crazy training schedule. I think you said you were. It might be every damn day. I don't remember what you said. Could you tell us again, like about your training schedule, man? How hectic it is?
Yeah, I'm training like when I'm in camp, I'm training 2 to 3 times a day. So I'm in the gym like probably like a total like 6 7 hours a day sometimes, or sometimes I'll be there straight. I'll just go in the gym in the morning and I'm not leaving till like that afternoon or night.
Mm-hmm. And I was gonna ask you, is there any way to like kind of like basically focusing on your recovery? Because the fact that you box and do MMA and jiu-jitsu, that's all combat sports. So it's like, do
Yeah.
anybody be worried about like recovery and making sure you're not working too hard because you is taking physical damage, whether it's to the head or whatever? Because you literally, like I said, you do every combat sport, so everything is taking a toll on your body.
Yeah. My dad makes sure that I don't undertrain, but I also don't overtrain either because
Uh-huh.
sometimes overtraining can be even worse than undertraining. When you
Yeah.
overtrain and you burn yourself out, when you're in a fight, you really got nothing to pull out of you. Whereas if you undertrain,
Yeah.
you can always dig something up. But when you overtrain, you can't do that. So my dad makes sure that I'm training just the amount that I need to be, and even
Mhm.
like the team around me making sure I was in the gym for a while. I was going on my fourth workout or something like that. One of the coaches told
Mhm.
me to chill out and took all my stuff out. He said like go sit down somewhere. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
I got people around me making sure that I'm training properly.
All right. And
Uh-huh.
where does that motivation come from, man? Like we said, you only 16, man. Very rare do you see a 16-year-old that want to be in the gym all day. They might want to go, for a couple hours or whatnot, but they very really want to push themselves to the limit that you're pushing yourself or to the level that you're pushing yourself. Where does that motivation come from?
Just wanting to be the best. I really want to fulfill all the potential that I have within me. I just want to be able to one day become the best that I can be. And then definitely being around all these great people like Floyd, and I've been able to be around Roy Jones a lot. And all these
Mhm.
different like great people that I look up to telling me that, if I keep going one day that I'll become world champion, that gives me a lot of motivation to keep going.
And at what age do you feel like it kind of kicked in that you decided you was going to kind of feed your family with this sport? At what age did it really kick in for you? You was like, yeah, this it.
Probably like 13, maybe 13, 14 is when it
Mhm.
really like before that I was still competing a lot. I'm like, wow, I'm good at this. I want to do this. But when it like really like this is gonna be like what I'm gonna be doing for a lifetime, probably like 13, 14.
Mhm. My saying we gotta ask you about this weekend, and before you answer that, who did you pick winning that Spence Bud fight before it started?
I thought it was a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean?
Because I know
I
you come
always
out of TMT. I know they always rolling with Spence. I know Bud
yeah,
made a lot of people upset.
I always said that Bud has, I believe that he had a little bit of a better skill set. So I thought that might have showed up, but they're both great fighters, and I was a 50-50 type of fight. But it really surprised me. It really, really,
Man,
really did surprise me.
man.
Thank you.
But
Yeah, it
What's
what
really
up,
you?
Coach? How you doing, Coach?
did.
What's
Hey,
up, Coach? How you doing?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Good,
Good,
good.
good, good.
Pleasure to have you on. Pleasure to have you hop on the stream with
All right. I always see you on TV. It's crazy seeing you right now.
us.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
All right, you good, Coach.
That's dope. But yeah, man, just going back to Spence Crawford, man. Yeah, none of us thought it was going that way, man. Definitely not a 3 knockdown ninth round KO, man. you
Nah.
know, yeah, none of us thought it was going that way. Um, did you feel like, not Bud, but did you feel like Spence was possibly drained? You know, he's been at 147 his whole career. Obviously, he's been wanting to go to 154 for a little bit now. Obviously, he wanted this fight at 47 first. But do you feel like that played a part in that?
I think it could have played a little bit of a part in it, but I really think it was just Bud's skills that really made the fight how it was, and made it's the reason why it went how it went.
No, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, because I could have, like you said, the skill set probably, I was thinking like at any point if they fought, like it probably would have went the same way regardless. If they would have fought, like you said, me and Gio talk about this a lot, man. If he would have fought a couple years ago, it probably would have went the same way,
Yeah, for sure.
regardless, just because of the styles of everything. Do you feel like that possibly what it was? Because we know Spencer had this come forward style and Bud to be very versatile. Do you think that could have played a part? Like it was just kind of easy for Bud to pick them apart.
Yeah, I think so a little bit because Spence, he's good at coming forward and putting the pressure on people and breaking them down. So when Bud was like hitting them with counter punches and not giving them a chance to do that,
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't really like a plan B or anything.
Exactly. Exactly. How about you, Coach? What you think of that fight this past weekend, Bud Spence?
Um, great performance by Bud. Uh, and proved that he, he belongs with all the other top champions that came before him. And I thought that exactly like what Joseph was just saying. I think that um, Earl Spence has beat everyone the same way, and that's basically walking in a straight
Mm-hmm.
line, walking down and and just beating whoever in front of him. But when in the second round he started getting touched and he started having to back up, and that's something that he ain't used to, and and so basically, I mean, that's when it became a problem. And from the second round on, I mean, basically the fight was a whitewash.
Yeah, it
No,
was over with.
definitely. So do you believe, Coach, that it would have turned out like that, no matter the car crash, no matter what time it would have happened, or you believe that Bud kind of caught Spence at the right time, at the perfect time, kind of?
That's something that only God could really give that answer to you because basically, I don't know. I mean, even when he came into the ring, he didn't seem like himself.
Yeah, a lot of
And I
people.
mean,
Mhm.
I don't think it was just me that saw it. I seen a lot of people were saying the same thing, and that basically, I don't know. I think that it could be something to do with the accident, or I don't know. I just know that I've never seen um Earl get beat that bad, and it could be that what's the name was just that good. I don't know, but we would never know in regard
Mhm.
when we talk about the accident because we don't know. No one would never know.
Right. We just kind of got to move forward now and see how his next performance is at this point.
Right.
Yeah. And kind of going back a little bit, in the same week, we had also Inoue Fulton, another fight that we thought was going to be a little bit better. How did you feel about that, Joseph? Just going back to you, how did you feel about that Inoue Fulton matchup?
I was thinking that it was either gonna be Fulton outboxing him or Inoue's gonna stop him. But it still kind of shocked me the way he did it. I mean, like his power is like insane. The way like he carried it from like I think he started at like what 108. He's
108,
still
yeah.
cracking like that at 22. It's pretty crazy. So it surprised me.
No, it definitely surprised me. Did he look a lot better to you, like watching him this fight than like you thought he was? Because to us, I feel like he just looked. I did not expect him to be that good. He looked a lot better than I really thought he was. He really like it just was like a flawless performance.
Yeah, because he's a lighter weight, a lot of people don't pay much attention to the people at the lighter weights. So a lot of the people that he did fight, even though they were good, a lot of people don't know him. Stephen Fulton had a little bit more of a name, so that's why now you're starting to pay attention to it, and you can you see where his skill level is actually at.
Right.
I was gonna ask you. I gotta ask this because I heard that it was no VADA testing for that fight. Do you believe he juicing?
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's very possible.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, it was like watching a superhero that night. I ain't gonna lie, he was just like so fast, so powerful, so instinctive. It was like watching Iron Man fight. Like it was,
Man,
I don't know. Then I heard,
you reminded me of somebody else in the past.
yes, sir. You're right. We ain't gonna say his name though, Coach. I know.
No, we ain't gonna do that.
But yeah, and like I said, I only asked this because I heard that it was no VADA testing, so that's another reason that And it makes sense because it was all in Japan, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the truth.
Right. How about you, Coach? Did that fight surprise you at all, or did you feel like Fulton was gonna put up a little better fight?
Yeah, I thought Fulton was gonna put up a little better fight, but at the same time, I really wasn't. I wasn't that high on Fulton like everybody else was, because I seen Fulton fight and I went to the fight, and that fight was extremely close, or they could have gave it to the other guy. And so, I mean, everybody was talking about how good he was, and I just didn't see it. So, I mean, so him getting beat by, in a way, I mean, didn't surprise me at all. Because, I mean, I never seen what everybody else seen. So, I never believed, he never fought a fight that I seen that made me a believer in him that he was going to be a world champion or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Was that fight you went to? Was that Brandon Figueroa?
Yeah, that fight right there. That was the one.
Yeah, that was
I kind of figured. I kind of figured that was the one. I kind of figured that was it. Yeah, that was a good fight for sure. Brandon can fight too, man. He gonna put up a good fight against anybody. So, I see what you mean by what you're saying. Yeah.
No, I'm about to say I gotta. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead. I was gonna ask you. I was probably similar.
No, I was gonna get some fantasy fight predictions.
For me?
The first, yeah.
All right.
But I say the first fantasy fight, Bruce Carrington versus Duke Reagan. Who y'all like in that one?
Bruce Carrington. I saw one of Duke Reagan's fights. I don't know if it was his last one or the one before that, but it was really close, and he got stunned a few times.
It probably was his last one. That his most recent one was the closest one he had. So probably
that was the first fight that I seen him actually fight. So I don't know how he looked in the rest of them, but just going off of that one, I think probably Bruce Carrington is good. Bruce real good.
Yeah.
I say the second fantasy fight, you got Richardson Hitchens versus Kendall Sims Jr. Who y'all like to take that if it was to happen?
That'd be a really good one, actually.
That's usually the one that take people a little bit more time to pick a winner on that one.
Yeah, I think maybe if I had to choose, maybe Hitchens. I think Hitchens probably a little bit more a little tighter on his defense and his technique in general. So I think maybe him. But that's like a 50-50 fight. That'll be a real good one.
No, definitely. And the last one is Abdullah Mason versus Keyshawn Davis.
I think right now it's a little early for him. So I think even though Keyshawn only has 9 fights, he's very like seasoned. Like he fights like he's super experienced.
Yeah.
So I'd probably have to go with Keyshawn on that one.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And how y'all feel about a Bud Jermell Charlo fight? Obviously, they had some words after the Bud Spence fight. And Bud is most likely going to move up to 154 next as well. How do you feel about that matchup after he fights Canelo?
Well, after he fights Canelo, I really don't think he's gonna come back down. I think he's probably gonna end up
We were
going.
saying that too.
I mean, if he did, I think it would be a pretty good matchup. But I think Bud probably like just like he did with Spence, like the skills like pay the bills. So I think Bud would get that.
Mm-hmm. And then going back to the Charlo Canelo, how do you feel about that fight in general? And that does make sense. We were also saying that as well. He probably go down to 160 instead of going back down to 54. But how do you feel about that fight in general?
I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what people think it's gonna be. Canelo's got the size on him, obviously, but I think Charlo has the ability to like outbox him. So I think it's gonna be a real close fight.
Mm-hmm. How you like that fight, Coach? Charlo Canelo?
I lean toward Canelo, even though Canelo seems like he's on decline a little bit. But I mean, he it's different if he was fighting the other Charlo. He's fighting the one from 54, making the guy go up 2 weight classes.
Exactly.
And that's what Canelo is doing. Canelo is now he's playing games with everybody. He just like he was going to fight Badu Jack, and he told Badu Jack he has to come in, he has to lose 20 pounds, and then he has to, then he has a dehydration clause. So I mean, Canelo's, I mean, I don't respect him the way I used to because, I mean, he is a great fighter. I can't take that from him. But the thing is that now he's either draining these guys or he's forcing these guys to put weight on themselves to make it to his advantage. I mean, because I just don't think that Charlo is going to be used to getting hit by a guy big as Canelo, and that's going to make a huge difference in that fight.
Okay, yeah. Do you guys believe that the power will carry up, like Canelo will fill Charlo power, or you feel like the 2 weight classes he won't be a big puncher anymore?
I don't think so.
It's gonna be hard because Canelo can take a shot. Like he has a chin, for it.
Yeah.
So I don't see Charlo hitting him with something. And Canelo's like, oh, let me back up. That's a hard shot. You know what I mean? Especially coming down from before. So
he is taller, and so that's probably the advantages he got.
Yeah, then going back to you saying Canelo got a good chin. He want to fight guys at 175 too. You know what I mean? He taking these big guys on. So I understand what you mean, but like Charlo's power might not be much to Canelo, just because you know what I mean. He's just a heavier weight class. But yeah, man, definitely 2 weight classes, right?
Yeah,
which is crazy. Which is really crazy for real. But I mean, Charlo looks like he's filling out the weight pretty well. I'm hoping he can put up a good fight though, because like you said, Joseph, I don't think it's gonna be as easy for Canelo as a lot of people think. A lot of people think Canelo just gonna wash him out. But you never know. We just seen what happened with Bud Spence. So you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was hurt Saturday, man. I was feeling some type of way. It didn't even look right seeing Spence get beat up like that because we just so used to seeing him do the beating up. It just didn't even look right. Like,
yeah,
that was a crazy thing. But I said, you got any more questions though, bro?
Nope, I'm all set. I really appreciate y'all for hopping on. You know, it's always a pleasure, Joseph, and thank you for coming on with us too, Coach, and answering some questions with us.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
I was gonna say,
bro.
give out your social media, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Oh yeah, all my socials is Real Joseph Brown.
All right, thank you.
For
Appreciate
sure.
you for coming on.
Thanks,
Yeah,
y'all. Thanks, Joseph.